I was sitting in a coffee shop last week, and I couldn't help but overhear a conversation between two young men at the next table. One of them was passionately explaining his dreams, his aspirations, all the amazing things he wanted to do with his life. He spoke about traveling the world, starting a business, making a difference, living an extraordinary life. His friend listened patiently, and when he finished, do you know what the friend said? He said, "That's nice, but you know, whatever will be, will be. Our destiny is already written. What's meant to happen will happen anyway." And I watched as the first young man's excitement slowly deflated, like air escaping from a balloon. He nodded, sighed, and said, "Yeah, I guess you're right." And just like that, a dream died, not because it was impossible, not because he lacked talent or resources, but because he accepted the idea that his future was fixed, predetermined, out of his control. Now, I want you to think about something for a moment. When you imagine your future, how do you see it? Do you see it as something that happens to you, like weather, unpredictable and beyond your control? Or do you see it as something you actively shape, like a sculptor working with clay? This difference, this fundamental difference in perspective, separates those who drift through life from those who design their life. And here's what fascinates me. We live in an age of unprecedented opportunity. Our grandparents could only dream of the resources we have at our fingertips. Information that once required traveling to libraries and spending days in research is now available in seconds. Skills that once required expensive teachers can now be learned for free online. Connections that once required years to build can now be made with a simple message. We have more tools, more knowledge, more opportunities than any generation in human history. Yet, despite all this, most people are not creating the future they desire. Most people are simply reacting to life rather than directing it. They wake up each day and ask, "What will today bring?" instead of declaring, "What will I create today?" They see themselves as passengers on a journey they didn't choose, rather than drivers heading toward a destination they've selected. Why is this happening? Why, with all these resources, all these opportunities, all this potential, are so many people living default lives instead of designed lives? And more importantly, what do smart people do differently? What do those who successfully create their future understand that others miss? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. But before I tell you what smart people do, let me share something that might surprise you. When I say smart people, I'm not talking about IQ. I'm not talking about academic achievements or degrees or test scores. I've met people with multiple PhDs who are completely lost in life, and I've met people who barely finished school who have built extraordinary lives. So what do I mean by smart? I mean people who are intelligent about life itself. People who understand how to navigate reality effectively. People who recognize patterns that others miss. People who make decisions that compound into remarkable outcomes. These are the people who create their future, and today I'm going to show you exactly how they do it. Let me take you back to when I was much younger, still trying to figure out my path in life. I remember having two classmates. Let me call them Rajesh and Amit. Both came from similar backgrounds, similar families, similar circumstances. Both were reasonably good students, nothing extraordinary, just average. But what happened to them over the next 15 years was dramatically different. Today, Rajesh has built a successful organization, travels extensively for work he loves, has a beautiful family and radiates contentment. Amit, on the other hand, is still complaining about his job, still talking about what he'll do someday, still waiting for his lucky break. What made the difference? When I reconnected with both of them and really listened to their stories, I discovered something profound. It wasn't luck. It wasn't connections. It wasn't even talent. The difference was in how they approached time, decisions, and personal responsibility. Rajesh, even back in college, had a peculiar habit. He would constantly ask himself, where do I want to be 5 years from now? What do I need to do today to get there? Amit, in contrast, would say things like, let's see what happens. Life will take care of itself. Why stress about tomorrow? At the time, Amit seemed relaxed, even wise. Rajesh seemed unnecessarily anxious. But what we didn't realize then, what became crystal clear years later, was that Rajesh wasn't anxious. He was intentional. He wasn't worrying about the future. He was creating it. You see, there's a fundamental truth about life that smart people understand deeply. The future is not something that just happens. It's not a place you arrive at passively. The future is something you build brick by brick, decision by decision, day by day. Think about it this way. Imagine two people starting a journey. One has a map, a clear destination, and checks their progress regularly. The other just starts walking, hoping they'll end up somewhere good. Both might encounter obstacles. Both might face unexpected turns. But who do you think has a better chance of reaching a desirable destination? The one with intention and direction, or the one just wandering? This might seem obvious when I put it this way, yet most people live their lives like that second traveler. They wake up, go through their routines, respond to whatever comes their way, and hope things work out. They are not lazy. They are working hard, putting in hours, doing their duties, but they are working without direction, without strategy, without a clear vision of where all this effort is taking them. And here's what's interesting. When I speak at various forums, universities, corporate events, I often ask people, if you continue doing exactly what you're doing now, where will you be in 5 years? And the most common response I get is silence. Uncomfortable silence, because most people have never actually thought about it. They haven't connected their present actions to their future outcomes. They haven't asked themselves whether their current trajectory is taking them where they actually want to go. It's like being on a train and never checking whether it's heading to your desired destination. You're moving, yes. You're busy, yes. But are you going where you want to go? That's the question most people avoid because the answer makes them uncomfortable. Now, some people do think about the future, but in a completely disempowering way. They worry about it, they fear it, they see it as something threatening, full of uncertainty and danger. What if I fail? What if things don't work out? What if I'm not good enough? What if the economy crashes? What if I make the wrong decision? This fear-based thinking about the future is just as problematic as not thinking about it at all. Because when you see the future as a threat, you become defensive. You play not to lose rather than playing to win. You focus on protecting what you have rather than creating what you want. You shrink instead of expand. And then there are those, and I see this increasingly in today's world, who have completely outsourced their future to external circumstances. They believe their future depends on the government, on the economy, on their boss, on their luck, on forces beyond their control. They say things like, I'll be successful if I get the right opportunity. I'll be happy if circumstances improve. I'll pursue my dreams if conditions are favorable. Do you see what's happening here? They've made themselves powerless. They've handed over the steering wheel of their life to external factors and made themselves mere passengers. So what's the solution? How do smart people think about and create their future differently? Let me break this down for you in a way that you can immediately apply to your own life. The first thing smart people do is they take complete ownership of their future. Complete ownership, not partial. Not conditional, complete. They understand a simple but powerful truth. If it's meant to be, it's up to me, not up to luck, not up to destiny, not up to circumstances, up to me. Now, this doesn't mean they believe they can control everything. Smart people aren't delusional. They know there are things outside their control: the weather, the economy, other people's decisions, unexpected events. But here's what they focus on. They focus on what they can control. Their choices, their responses, their habits, their mindset, their actions. I'll give you a practical example. Let's say there's an economic downturn. 2 people lose their jobs. Person A says, the economy is bad. There are no jobs. There's nothing I can do. I'm a victim of circumstances. Person B says, the economy is challenging. This is hard. But what can I do? Can I learn a new skill? Can I reach out to my network? Can I start something on my own? Can I offer value in a different way? Same situation. 2 completely different responses. One has given away all power. The other has retained agency. And that agency, that sense of being able to influence your outcomes, is what creates the future. The second thing smart people do is they get crystal clear on what they actually want. And I mean really clear, not vague wishes like I want to be successful or I want to be happy. Those are not destinations. Those are directions at best. Smart people can tell you exactly what success looks like for them. What does their ideal day look like? What kind of work are they doing? Who are they surrounded by? What impact are they making? How do they feel when they wake up in the morning? They paint a vivid picture of their desired future. And here's why this matters. Your brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. When you give it a clear target, it starts finding ways to hit that target. It notices opportunities you would have missed. It makes connections you wouldn't have made. It guides your decisions toward your goal. But when you don't have a clear target, your brain has nothing to aim for. So it just keeps you in survival mode, reacting to whatever comes up. The third thing, and this is crucial, smart people reverse, engineer their future. They don't just dream about where they want to be. They work backward from that vision to figure out what needs to happen to get there. If I want to be here in 5 years, where do I need to be in 3 years? If I need to be there in 3 years, where do I need to be in 1 year? If I need to be there in 1 year, what do I need to do this quarter? This quarter, then what do I need to do this month? This month, then what do I need to do this week? This week, then what do I need to do today? You see how this works. The future isn't some distant, disconnected thing. It's the inevitable result of what you do today, tomorrow, and the day after. Smart people understand this connection viscerally. They know that extraordinary futures are built through ordinary days, executed extraordinarily well. The fourth thing is that smart people develop what I call strategic patience. They understand that building anything worthwhile takes time. They're not looking for shortcuts, quick fixes, or overnight success. They're willing to plant seeds today that will bear fruit years from now. They invest in learning even when it doesn't pay immediately. They build relationships even when there's no immediate benefit. They develop skills even when no one is watching, because they know that everything compounds. Small actions repeated consistently over time create massive results. One decision doesn't determine your future, but thousands of decisions, all aligned toward a vision, absolutely do. The fifth thing is that smart people are radically honest with themselves about reality. They don't lie to themselves about where they are. They don't make excuses. They don't blame others. They look at their current situation with clear eyes and say, "This is where I am. This is what I've created so far. Now, what do I need to do differently to create what I want?" This honesty is uncomfortable, but it's essential, because you cannot change what you don't acknowledge. If you're pretending everything is fine when it's not, if you're blaming external factors for internal problems, if you're avoiding the truth about your own contribution to your current situation, you can't move forward effectively. Now let me tell you what you need to do, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect, today, right now. First, I want you to do something that might feel uncomfortable. I want you to take complete responsibility for where you are right now. Not partial responsibility, complete responsibility. Yes, I know things happened to you that weren't your fault. Yes, I know you faced circumstances beyond your control. Yes, I know others made decisions that affected you. I'm not dismissing any of that. But here's what I'm saying: even if your past wasn't entirely your fault, your future is entirely your responsibility. Say that with me: my future is my responsibility. Not my parents' responsibility, not my company's responsibility, not the government's responsibility, mine. This shift in ownership is the foundation of everything else. Because once you accept that you are the creator of your future, you stop waiting for permission, for perfect conditions, for someone to rescue you. You start acting. Second, get clear on your vision. I want you to take some time, even just 30 minutes, and write down answers to these questions. 5 years from now, what do I want my life to look like? What work do I want to be doing? What kind of impact do I want to be making? Who do I want to be spending time with? What do I want to have learned or mastered? How do I want to feel about my life? Don't censor yourself. Don't limit yourself based on your current circumstances. Just write what you truly want. Make it vivid. Make it specific. Make it compelling enough that thinking about it excites you. This vision is your North Star. It's what will guide your decisions, your priorities, your actions. Without it, you're navigating without direction. Third, reverse. Engineer that vision. Once you know where you want to be in 5 years, work backward. Break it down. What would need to be true in 3 years for that 5-year vision to be possible? What milestones would need to be achieved in 1 year? What actions need to happen in the next 3 months? What specifically needs to start happening this week? This process transforms a distant dream into actionable steps. It connects your future vision to your present reality. It shows you exactly what you need to do today to create the tomorrow you desire. Fourth, identify one habit that would make the biggest difference in creating your desired future, and commit to it for the next 90 days. Just one habit, not 10, not 5, one. Maybe it's reading for 30 minutes every day. Maybe it's exercising consistently. Maybe it's learning a specific skill. Maybe it's networking regularly. Maybe it's working on a side project. Maybe it's saving a certain amount of money. Whatever it is, make sure it directly contributes to your vision, and then commit to doing it every single day for 90 days. Why 90 days? Because that's long enough to see real results, and it's long enough to make the habit automatic. After 90 days, that habit becomes part of who you are. And here's the beautiful thing about habits: they compound. One good habit leads to another. One area of discipline creates discipline in other areas. One small win creates momentum for bigger wins. Fifth, create an accountability system. You cannot create your future in isolation. You need other people. Find someone, a friend, a mentor, a colleague, someone who will check in with you regularly about your progress. Someone who will ask you the hard questions. Someone who won't let you make excuses. Tell them your vision. Tell them your 90-day habit commitment. Give them permission to hold you accountable. Schedule weekly or bi-weekly check-ins where you report your progress honestly. This external accountability is powerful. On days when your internal motivation is low, external accountability keeps you moving. On days when you want to quit, having to report to someone else keeps you going. Sixth, track your progress visibly. Get a calendar or a journal. Every day that you execute on your committed habit, mark it. Create a visual chain of success. This serves two purposes. First, it gives you immediate feedback and satisfaction. Second, it creates momentum. Once you see a streak building, you don't want to break it. I've seen people completely transform their lives with this simple practice. They commit to one thing, track it daily, and watch as that one thing creates ripple effects across their entire life. Seventh, regularly review and adjust. Every month, take an hour to reflect. Am I moving toward my vision? Is my daily habit making a difference? What's working? What's not? What do I need to do more of? What do I need to stop doing? This regular reflection ensures you're not just busy, but busy with the right things. It ensures you're not just moving, but moving in the right direction. Creating your future isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about ensuring your efforts are aligned with your vision. Let me share with you a story that captures everything I've been trying to convey today. There was a young woman named Priya who attended one of my talks about 3 years ago. After the session, she came up to me with tears in her eyes. She said, "Gaur Gopal, I'm 28 years old, and I feel like I've wasted my life. I'm in a job I hate. I have no savings. I haven't pursued any of my dreams, and I feel stuck. Is it too late for me?" I looked at her and asked, "How old will you be in 5 years if you change nothing?" She thought for a moment and said, 33. I nodded and said, "And how old will you be in 5 years if you start creating your future today?" She paused, and I could see something shift in her eyes. 33, she whispered, but a completely different 33. Exactly, that's the point. Time will pass anyway. 5 years from now will come whether you act or not. The question is, who will you be when it arrives? Will you be the same person, just older, with the same regrets? Or will you be someone who created something meaningful, who moved toward their vision, who designed their life rather than just enduring it? Priya made a decision that day. She got clear on what she wanted. She was passionate about education and wanted to help underprivileged children. She reverse engineered her path. She needed skills in non-profit management and fundraising. She committed to one habit, spending 1 hour every evening after work learning or building toward her goal. And she found accountability. She joined a group of like-minded people. I stayed in touch with Priya. It wasn't easy. There were days she wanted to quit. There were setbacks. There were people who discouraged her, but she kept going. 6 months in, she started a small weekend tutoring program. A year in, she had partnered with a local school. 2 years in, she had left a corporate job and was running a small but growing educational nonprofit. 3 years later today, her organization has impacted over 500 children. She works longer hours than she did in a corporate job, but she wakes up every morning with purpose. She's not rich by conventional standards, but she's wealthy in fulfillment. And here's what she told me recently. The best decision I ever made was to stop waiting and start creating. My only regret is that I didn't start sooner. You see, smart people understand something profound. They understand that regret comes from inaction, not from action. They understand that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. They understand that their future self is watching their current self, hoping they make the right choices. So, here's what I want you to understand. You have more power than you realize. You have more potential than you've expressed. You have more capability than you've demonstrated. The only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is a series of decisions and actions. That's it. Not luck, not connections, not perfect circumstances. Just decisions and actions, repeated consistently over time. And the beautiful thing about decisions and actions is that they're completely within your control. Right now, today, this moment, you can decide to take ownership. You can decide to get clear on your vision. You can decide to commit to one powerful habit. You can decide to find accountability. You can decide to start creating rather than just reacting. These are all choices available to you right now, not 5 years from now, not when everything is perfect, right now. And I'll tell you something else. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You just need to take the first step. Smart people don't wait for complete clarity before they act. They act their way into clarity. They understand that you don't think your way into a new way of acting. You act your way into a new way of thinking. So start messy, start scared, start uncertain, but start, because 5 years from now, you'll wish you had started today. 10 years from now, you'll be amazed at what started today. The future you desire is not going to create itself. It's not going to fall into your lap. It's not going to appear because you waited long enough or wished hard enough. Your future will be created by you through your choices, through your actions, through your persistence, through your refusal to settle for a default life when a designed life is possible. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with one final thought. There's a question I ask myself regularly, and I want you to start asking yourself this question too. If someone were to write the story of your life, would it be a story worth reading? Not because of what happened to you, but because of what you created. Not because of the circumstances you faced, but because of how you responded to them. Not because everything was easy, but because you persisted when things were hard. Smart people live their lives as if someone is going to write a story about them someday. Not because they're narcissistic or self-important, but because it keeps them conscious, it keeps them intentional, it keeps them from sleepwalking through life. They know that every day is a page in their story, and they're choosing what to write on that page. Will today's page be about scrolling mindlessly through social media, or about taking one step toward a meaningful goal? Will today's page be about complaining about circumstances, or about taking action despite circumstances? Will today's page be about waiting for perfect conditions, or about creating something imperfect but real? You are writing your story every single day. The question is, are you writing it consciously or unconsciously? Are you the author, or are you letting life write it for you? I've been blessed to interact with thousands of people across the world, from students to CEO, from homemakers to entrepreneurs, from young dreamers to experienced leaders. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that the people who create extraordinary futures are not necessarily the most talented, the most educated, or the most privileged. They are the most intentional. They are the ones who understand that the future is not a place they're going to, it's a reality they're creating. They are the ones who take responsibility, get clear on their vision, reverse, engineer their path, commit to powerful habits, find accountability, and persist through obstacles. These are not superhuman abilities, these are choices, choices that are available to every one of us, including you, especially you. Right now, in this moment, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to the same future you're currently heading toward, the default path, the path of least resistance, the path where you continue doing what you've been doing and getting what you've been getting. The other path leads to the future you truly desire, the designed path, the path of intentional creation, the path where you take ownership and start building something meaningful. Both paths require effort. The default path requires the effort of regret, disappointment, and unfulfilled potential. The designed path requires the effort of discipline, persistence, and courage. Both are hard, but one leads to a life you're proud of, and the other leads to a life of what ifs and if only. Which path will you choose? Because make no mistake, not choosing is choosing. Waiting is a decision. Someday is a destination you never reach. The only moment you have is this one. The only day that matters for creating your future is today. Not yesterday, that's gone. Not tomorrow, that's not here yet. Today. Smart people understand this deeply. They understand that the future is not created in some distant moment when everything aligns perfectly. The future is created in the present moment, through present choices, through present actions. Every single day, you're either building your desired future or betraying it. Every single decision is either moving you closer to your vision or further from it. Every single action is either an investment in who you want to become or a withdrawal from your potential. This is not meant to create pressure. This is meant to create awareness. Because once you're aware, once you truly understand that you are creating your future right now, you start making different choices, you start acting differently, you start living intentionally instead of accidentally. So, here's my final message to you. You are smarter than you think. You are more capable than you believe. You have more power than you've exercised. And your future, your real future, the one you dream about in quiet moments, is absolutely possible. Not guaranteed, but possible, and possibility is all you need. Possibility plus intention plus action equals creation. You provide the intention and the action. Life has already provided the possibility. Now go create, go build, go design. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Believe in yourself. Take that first step today. Commit to that one habit. Get clear on that vision. Find that accountability. And watch as your future, the one you're creating, starts to take shape. 5 years from now, you'll either be living the future you created, or the future that happened by default. The choice is yours, and the time to make that choice is not tomorrow. It's not next week. It's not when you feel ready. The time is now, because smart people don't wait to create their future. They start creating it right now with what they have where they are. And that's exactly what I'm inviting you to do. Create your future, starting today, starting now. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being open to this message. Now go out there and prove to yourself just how smart you really are. Go create the future that's waiting for you to build it. Go live the story that's waiting for you to write it. Your future is calling.